Do you ever wake up to that electric buzzing in your feet like 1,000 tiny pins dancing across your skin? Or maybe it's the opposite. Your feet feel heavy, dead, like they belong to someone else, and every step feels like you're walking on thick clouds instead of solid ground. These aren't just annoying sensations that come and go. For millions of us, as we get older, they become constant companions that slowly steal our confidence, our balance, and our freedom. The burning at night that keeps you from sleeping, the sudden sharp jolts that make you grab the railing, the fear of falling when you step off a curb because you literally cannot feel where the ground is. Simple things you used to take for granted, walking to the mailbox, standing in the kitchen making breakfast, playing on the floor with your grandchildren, start to feel dangerous. Most people are told this is just peripheral neuropathy and there's nothing to do but manage it. That is not the full story. The nerves in your feet are starving for fresh blood and oxygen. And the single most effective way to deliver that nourishment is by activating the powerful muscle pump in your lower legs. That is exactly what these 4 chair exercises are designed to do. I'm Dr. Hana Sasaki. I'm a physician who has spent years treating older adults with neuropathy in my clinic. What I'm about to show you is practical, evidence-based, and something you can do safely from the comfort of a sturdy chair. These movements don't just mask symptoms. They directly improve circulation to the nerves that need it most, stimulate the sensory pathways that have gone quiet, and help restore the connection between your brain and your feet. Let's talk about what is actually happening inside your body. Your peripheral nerves are like the electrical wiring that runs from your spinal cord all the way down to your toes. They carry two-way traffic. Sensory information travels up to tell your brain about temperature, texture, pain, and position. Motor commands travel down so you can move. When these nerves are damaged, the signals become distorted or blocked. High blood sugar is the most common culprit. Excess glucose creates advanced glycation end products that literally stiffen and inflame the tiny blood vessels that feed the nerve. The nerves begin to starve. Oxidative stress rises, the delicate myelin coating phrase, signals that once traveled smoothly now sputter and misfire. This is why you feel burning, tingling, or complete numbness. But diabetes is not the only cause. Years of low vitamin B12 or B1 levels quietly erode nerve insulation. Autoimmune conditions can cause your own immune cells to attack peripheral nerves. Certain medications, especially some used in cancer treatment, are known to damage sensory nerves. Old injuries, spinal stenosis, even decades of heavy alcohol use can contribute. Sometimes we run every test and still call it idiopathic, meaning we don't have a single clear villain. Yet the end result is the same: compromised nerves living in a low oxygen, high waste environment. Here's what most people, and even some doctors, miss. Nerves cannot heal or function properly without constant delivery of oxygen, glucose, and nutrients, and without efficient removal of metabolic waste. Your heart pumps blood down to your feet, but getting that blood back up against gravity is a different challenge. That job belongs largely to your calf muscles. Every time you contract the muscles in your lower legs, they squeeze the deep veins like a pump. One-way valves inside those veins keep the blood moving upward toward your heart. This is your second heart. When you sit for long periods or walk less because of pain or fear, this pump slows dramatically. Blood pools, fluid builds. Nerves that are already struggling become even more deprived. The environment around them turns toxic. This is why symptoms often worsen in the evening after a day of sitting. The encouraging truth is that even damaged nerves can respond when you improve their environment. Research published in the journal Diabetes Care demonstrated that patients who performed consistent lower leg movement training showed measurable improvements in nerve conduction velocity and sensory thresholds after 12 weeks. Another study in the Journal of Neuroengineering and Rehabilitation found that targeted sensory motor exercises increased microvascular blood flow to the feet and reduced neuropathic pain scores by an average of 38%. Your body still wants to heal. It simply needs the right mechanical signal delivered safely and consistently. I want you to hear a few stories from patients I've worked with. These are real people whose experiences will probably sound familiar. Mrs. Tanaka came to me at 78. She had lived with type 2 diabetes for 26 years. Her feet felt like sponges. She told me she could no longer feel the difference between carpet and tile. Gardening, her greatest joy, had become impossible. She tripped constantly over roots she couldn't sense. One afternoon, she stepped on a piece of broken glass in her kitchen and only noticed when she saw blood on the floor. That moment terrified her. She stopped leaving the house except for doctor appointments. We started with these exact chair exercises. Within 3 weeks, she reported the pins and needles were less intense. At 8 weeks, she could feel the texture of her garden soil again. She still checks her feet every single day, but she is back to tending her tomatoes and roses. Last month, she sent me a photo of her holding her newest grandchild while standing barefoot in the grass. Mr. Alvarez, 69, had burning pain so severe he slept in a recliner with his feet elevated and uncovered. The lightest sheet felt like fire. He had retired early from his job as a mail carrier because the pain made walking his route impossible. After 2 months of daily chair exercises combined with improved blood sugar control, the burning had decreased enough that he could sleep in his bed again. He now walks his neighborhood every morning. He tells me the marching exercise feels like it wakes his legs up from hibernation. Then there's Mrs. Chen, 81, who had idiopathic neuropathy with almost complete numbness in both feet. Her biggest fear was falling in the shower. She had stopped bathing alone and waited for her daughter to help her. The ankle alphabet exercise became her favorite. The concentration it required seemed to reawaken pathways that had gone dark. After 4 months, she regained enough proprioception to stand safely in the shower again. She cried in my office the day she told me she had taken a shower by herself for the first time in 2 years. These are not miracle cures. They are the result of consistent strategic movement that improves circulation, stimulates nerves, and rebuilds confidence one day at a time. Now, let me show you exactly how to do the 4 exercises that made these changes possible. Find a sturdy chair with a firm seat and no wheels. Place it on a non-slip surface. Sit all the way back so your thighs are fully supported. Your knees should be bent at roughly 90 degrees with your feet flat on the floor. Sit tall as if a string is gently pulling the top of your head toward the ceiling. This posture activates your core just enough to protect your lower back. Exercise 1, toe taps. This is your starter movement. It is simple enough to do while watching television, yet powerful enough to begin waking up the entire pump system. Keep your heels planted firmly on the floor. Lift the fronts of your feet and tap your toes up and down in a quick, controlled rhythm. Imagine you are playing a piano with your toes or keeping time to your favorite music. The movement comes from your ankles and the muscles along your shins. You should feel the muscles on the front of your lower legs working. That is the anterior tibialis firing. Each tap squeezes small blood vessels and sends a wave of fresh circulation downward while helping push venous blood back up. The rapid sensory input also bombards the nerve endings in the soles of your feet with information, which is exactly what sensory motor training is designed to do. Start with 20 to 30 seconds, build to 3 sets spread throughout your day. Many of my patients do this first thing in the morning while drinking their coffee, again during afternoon commercials, and once more before dinner. The key is rhythm and consistency rather than intensity. Exercise 2, ankle circles and the alphabet. This is the exercise my patients tell me feels surprisingly effective. It combines mobility, coordination, and rich sensory stimulation. Lift one foot just enough that your heel clears the floor by an inch or 2. Draw large, smooth circles with your ankle. Do 10 circles clockwise, then 10 counterclockwise. Keep the movement controlled. If your knee wants to move, stabilize it with your hands. After the circles, keep that foot lifted and pretend a crayon is attached to your big toe. Write the entire alphabet in the air, capital letters. Take your time. Make each letter distinct. You will quickly discover how many different directions your ankle and foot muscles must coordinate. This is gold for your nervous system. The circles restore range of motion that often becomes restricted with neuropathy and inactivity. The alphabet variation forces your brain to send complex signals to dozens of small muscles. This is proprioceptive training at its best. Better proprioception means better balance when you are standing. Better balance means you can walk with confidence again. Do both feet. Once per day is enough to start, though many patients enjoy doing it twice. If writing the full alphabet feels frustrating at first, begin with just your initials or simple shapes. Progress naturally. Exercise 3, seated leg extensions with active foot flex. This movement brings in the larger thigh muscles that support everything below them and adds a strong calf and shin component. Sit tall, choose one leg, slowly straighten it in front of you until it is parallel to the floor or as high as you can comfortably go without locking your knee. At the same time, flex your foot strongly, pulling your toes back toward your shin. You should feel a solid contraction in the front of your thigh and a stretch along your calf. Hold for 3 full seconds, then lower slowly. Perform 10 to 15 repetitions per leg. Complete 2 to 3 rounds per day. This exercise does several things at once. The quadriceps contraction drives blood through the entire leg. The active foot flex directly engages the calf muscle pump. The sustained hold creates metabolic demand that encourages new capillary growth over time. Many patients notice their feet feel warmer after this movement because circulation has been stimulated all the way down to the toes. Exercise 4, seated marching. This is the big integrator. It mimics natural walking while eliminating all balance risk. Sit tall with your feet flat. Lift one knee toward your chest while keeping your back straight. Lower it and immediately lift the opposite knee. Move in a steady marching rhythm. Swing your arms naturally if it feels comfortable. This turns the movement into gentle cardio for your lower body. March for 30 to 60 seconds or until you have completed 20 to 30 lifts per leg. Do 2 to 3 sets daily. This exercise activates your hip flexors, core stabilizers, and calf muscles in a rhythmic pattern that most closely resembles real walking. Each time your foot lifts and lowers, the calf pump is working. Venous blood is pushed upward. Fresh arterial blood rushes in. Waste products are cleared. The continuous motion also challenges your coordination and balance systems while you are safely supported. These 4 movements together create a complete program. They improve circulation, stimulate sensory nerves, strengthen supporting muscles, and retrain the brain-foot connection. Consistency beats intensity every single time. I tell my patients to think of this as brushing their teeth for their nerves. You do it daily because the benefit comes from accumulation, not from occasional heroic effort. Stack these movements onto habits you already have. Toe taps while your morning coffee brews, ankle alphabet during television commercials, leg extensions while talking on the phone, marching right before you set the table for dinner. Small pockets of movement spread throughout the day are far more effective than one long session you might skip. After every session, perform your foot check. This is non-negotiable. Neuropathy can rob you of the ability to feel pain from injury. Sit down, take off your shoes and socks, and look at both feet carefully. Use a mirror for the bottoms and between the toes. Check for redness, blisters, cuts, swelling, or areas that feel unusually warm or cool. Do this every single day. It takes 90 seconds and can prevent serious complications. I also want you to pay attention to your overall health picture. The nerves that are struggling need good building materials. Focus on foods rich in B vitamins, especially B12, B1, and folate. Leafy greens, eggs, salmon, sunflower seeds, and fortified cereals help. Antioxidant-rich berries and colorful vegetables combat oxidative stress. Stay well hydrated. Even mild dehydration thickens blood and makes circulation harder. Some patients benefit from talking with their doctor about targeted supplementation, but only after blood work confirms deficiencies. Never begin supplements on your own if you take medications for diabetes or other conditions. Pay attention to how your symptoms change over time. Many patients notice their feet feel warmer within the first 2 to 3 weeks. Sleep often improves next because nighttime burning decreases. Balance and confidence while walking usually follow after 6 to 8 weeks of daily practice. Some people regain enough sensation to feel the difference between grass and concrete again. These victories matter. They are measurable signs that your nerves are living in a better environment. Track your progress in a simple notebook. Write down how many minutes you marched each day. Note your pain level from 0 to 10 before and after exercises. Record anything you notice about sensation or balance. Looking back at your notes after a month is incredibly motivating. If your neuropathy is severe, if you have open wounds, active infections, or unstable heart conditions, speak with your doctor before beginning. These exercises are safe for the vast majority of people with peripheral neuropathy, but your individual situation deserves personalized medical guidance. The journey does not have to be one of slow decline. Your body is remarkably responsive when given the right mechanical signals. These 4 chair exercises activate the exact mechanism your nerves have been waiting for. Consistent, gentle, rhythmic pumping that delivers nourishment and clears waste. You now have the tools. The question is whether you will use them daily. Start tomorrow morning, pick one exercise if 4 feels like too much. Build from there. Your feet, your balance, your independence, and your peace of mind are worth the small daily investment. I want to hear from you in the comments. Tell me which of these 4 movements felt easiest or hardest on your first try. Share how long you have lived with neuropathy and what your biggest challenge is right now. Your stories help every person watching realize they are not alone. If this video gave you practical hope and clear steps you can take today, share it with someone you care about. Subscribe so you never miss future guidance on reclaiming strength, mobility, and comfort after 60. You are not stuck. Your nerves can respond. Small, consistent movements done from a chair can create meaningful change. Take that first step today. I'll be right here cheering you on. Your feet are listening. Give them the movement they need.